Howdy there, Silver Mongoose here, back with something a little bit different. Last year, I released a series of videos where I walked through my Wii library of games, which consisted of about, between 120 and 130 games, something like that. And then that made me more interested in the Wii in general, and that led me to make another video where I was going to do a challenge or experiment where I was going to play nothing but the Wii for all of 2022. And I'm going to post links to those videos below if you want to check those out or if you missed those. And I had some interest from people about posting a quarterly update, and here we are already. It's crazy to me that we're already a quarter of the way through the year, but we are. So I thought I would talk about how that's going. And this ended up being much longer than I expected. So I'm going to break up the video into 3 parts. The first part is just a couple first days of the challenge, and it's basically just me organizing my library. The second part is kind of off the cuff, short little reviews of the games that I played or that I started and finished. And then the third part is going to be kind of just me talking about how these first few months have gone. How am I feeling about it? Did I play any other games? Do I think I can keep this up? What am I going to be playing next? Those sorts of things. So I'm also going to be posting links to those timestamps below, so you can skip any of those parts that don't seem interesting to you. So let's get into it. So it is the last day before I have to head back to work. Over the holidays, I started a couple games, I finished a couple games, I started some that I might abandon. Ones like Link's Awakening, which I love, great game. I started playing it on my Game & Watch. And I got maybe a third of the way through. And, I don't need to finish that this year. Not while I'm doing this Wii experiment. I can pick it up again later if need be. And last night I started thinking, wouldn't it be nice if these were organized kind of by category? Previously, like a lot of people, I had them organized alphabetically, and that's nice for finding a game you know the title of, but not great for just looking at your shelf and thinking, "What, I want to play something for a few minutes," So last night I just started kind of, as I was prepping for bed, winding down, I decided to organize roughly my games, and you can see here that it's a work in progress, but I don't know. I just thought I'd kind of show you what I'm doing so far. Here I have shooters in general, so this has to be subcategorized because I have like rail shooters and vertical shooters and then first person all kind of grouped together. In the back I have games that I'm probably not going to play again this year. Slower, puzzly games. Then I have retro collections. I know I have more. And then this is, over here is where it started to get really dicey. This is so far kind of like adventure / platformer / 3D adventuring games. That one's gonna have to be subcategorized. And then there's like a bunch of games that I'm still working on here. I have a few piles. Some stuff just because I'm not sure where to put them. Like where do I put Animal Crossing? I put Animal Crossing. It's just Animal Crossing, right? And then something like Bit Trip Complete. It kind of feels like a retro collection, but it's not. Flip's Twisted World, that's definitely a 3D platformer. Just RPGs, I only have, I probably only have like a couple RPGs on here. I'm not a huge RPG fan, and the Wii was not great for RPGs, but anyways, that's where I am right now, just kind of organizing my games where I put them on the shelf. And it doesn't look like too much, but this is probably 120 games. I think there's some more kind of stored away, tucked away here and there. And yeah, this is the beginning of the journey, the beginning of the challenge. So, howdy there. So just starting my year of Wii adventure, experiment, whatever you want to call it. And of course, which is very much like me, is that I had to organize things because I can't do anything without organizing, including having fun. So I decided to take all the games that I either wanted to play more of or just are fun to pick up and play and organize them So games like Samba de Amigo or Dragon's Lair Trilogy I've played before, but are just fun to pick up and play every now and then. So I organized everything in 2 rows. This is not done alphabetically or by publisher or anything like that, or by year. It's done kind of by either genre or playstyle, which I think to a lot of people will seem totally nonsensical. But for me, it makes total sense for kind of the pick up and play full year of Wii style that I'm going for. So I started off over here with kind of like brawlers, just fighting games, and then I went into kind of like more adult adventure games or action games, so No More Heroes 2, Pandora's Tower, that kind of stuff. Then I went into kind of like more kid-friendly ones over here, and this led into kind of like 3D platformery sort of things, so like Mushroom Man, Lego Star Wars, Flip's Twisted World, and then this led into 2.5 and 2D platformers, so Kirby, Wario Land, Klonoa, that sort of stuff. And then this led into these two. These two are kind of puzzly, but I still think they're 2D platformers, more or less. That led into kind of balancing games, so games where you're like shifting the balance board back and forth, or the world back and forth, like Monkey Ball. And then like those kind of marble games, right? And then music/rhythm, and then arcade collections. Bit Trip Complete technically is an arcade game, but I count that as arcade style. That led into a few arcade shooters or arcade style shooters, and then just shooters in general. So these are kind of like first person, what would you call them? Like on rails games, and then kind of more traditional shooters, and then Metroid Other M is just there because I don't know where else I would put that at this point. And then that led to the second shelf here, where I have kind of point-and-click strategy games, point-and-click story games, point-and-click puzzly games, which led kind of into like point-and-click puzzles / party, which led into Tetris Party, and then there's like this big party section here, so stuff that I basically only play multiplayer, which led into Wii Party. And this is kind of like the Wii section, you know. Even I put Big Brain Academy in there. But yeah, I don't know. For me, like the Wii games are like kind of their own thing, so I put those together. That led into the Wii sports games, which led into just the more traditional sports games. I don't have a lot of sports games. I'm not a big sports guy, so I'm not going to have like, NFL games or anything. I'm more of like kind of the arcadey party sports kind of games, which led into racing and driving. And this is kind of like a sim section, sort of, because like Trauma Center is kind of a simulator. Same with Animal Crossing is like I don't know where you put these things, and Endless Ocean, and then that led into like the little tiny RPG section here, and then a couple loose a couple loose collector's editions. So that's kind of how I organized. To me, it makes a lot of sense, but I know to most people this is probably very nonsensical. But to me, it makes sense in terms of like, what kind of mood am I in, right? Am I in a sports mood? I know exactly where to go. I don't have to think, what are all my sports games? Oh yeah, Fishing Resort's under F, Punch-Out's under P. I could just think, this is my sports section, this is my driving section. To me, this makes a lot of sense. And it was actually a lot of fun organizing games like this, because some stuff, like I said, Animal Crossing, Trauma Center, I was like, where do I put these? Like, where do I put Endless Ocean? Some stuff just kind of had multiple genres, or kind of seemed like a genre of their own. Some of these can switch between different areas. Some of them, like, I have a couple here. Domino Rally. I don't know how to categorize this. And Fling Smash, I don't know where that goes. If it probably go kind of in the Wii section, but it's not a Wii game, so it was a lot of fun organizing stuff, creating like a flow, because I kind of wanted some genres to bleed into others. These could use some sub organization or some tweaking, and once I get a new game, then geez, where'd I put that? So yeah. I'm just kind of rambling now, but to me this makes the most sense for getting into my year of Wii. I'm finishing The Last Guardian on PS4 right now. I probably have like an hour or two to go, and after that, then it's gonna be nothing but Wii, like I said, or I'm gonna do my best. So I've already started a couple Wii games. I started Puzzle Kingdom and Rooms, and I've picked up again Harvey Birdman, because these games are like really slow. They're good to play at the end of the night. You know, I have 15 minutes before bed or something. I can just pop those in and play them. You know, so those are great games to do that for. But yeah, maybe some of you found this interesting, and yeah, let me know. Let me know what you think of my potentially ridiculous organization system. I thought it was fun to do, and it works for me.